Welcome everyone to tonight's council meeting. Before we start, we have a public forum, and I must start by PF1, recording a public forum. In the spirit of open, accessible and transparent government, public forums are video recorded and webcast. By speaking at a public forum, members of the public agree to being recorded and webcast. Albury City accepts no liability for any defamatory, discriminatory or offensive remarks or gestures that are made during the course of the council or committee meeting. Opinions expressed or statements made by individuals are the opinions or statements of those individuals and do not imply any form of endorsement by Albury City. Recordings are protected by copyright owned by Albury City. No part may be copied, recorded, reproduced or transmitted without the prior written consent of the Chief Executive Officer. Any recording is not and shall not be taken to be an official record of Albury City for discussion depicted therein. Okay, we have conflict of interest declaration received. Mr. Zachnich.
Thank you, Mayor Mack. Two conflict of interest declarations that relate to the public forum. First one is from Councillor Glacken, a non-pecuniary less than significant conflict of interest. The description is that family members own property in the mapped heritage areas in the draft document. This relates to CM 13.2, Draft Heritage Strategy Review Public Exhibition. Councillor Glacken's action will be to stay in the chamber and participate in debate, but leave the chamber for specific related areas directly in discussion. The second one's from Councillor Kylie King, a non-pecuniary less than significant. The description is one item listed in Schedule 5 is in close proximity to Councillor King's residential home. Again, the matter relates to CM 13.2 Draft Heritage Review. As action to be taken, remain in the chamber and participate. If the item is to be discussed specifically by council, leave the chamber then. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Zachnich. I'd like to welcome our speaker, 3.1, David Thurley, speaking for TM 13.2 Draft Heritage Strategy Review Public Exhibition, speaking for the recommendation. Thank you.
And speaking in favour of the recommendation.
Thank you, David. Questions, councillors? Councillor Bullman.
Through you, Mayor Mack, to the relevant member of staff. Mr. Christie, we have had some discussions reference the post office listings at some stage. Can you elaborate on where we may be up to with those, please?
Yeah, Mr. Christie.
Thank you for the question and for you, Mayor Mack. So yes, as indicated by the speaker, there's been a request from a member of the public for us to update the state heritage listing. As advised, we'd contact the State Heritage Office and you're required to do a comprehensive relisting. And while that would be something that we would seek to do into the future, currently there are no funds set aside for it. But we will seek and continue to seek opportunities that there may be grants available or other funding available should circumstances permit. Importantly, it still is currently listed. It has all the protections of the current listing. It's obviously around the referencing of that being a very important element, but it won't provide additional protections. It just makes a fulsome story and provides further information.
Thank you. Councillor King, did you have a question?
Yes, just briefly, you've been involved for a long stretch of time. What's probably been the most surprising or most interesting outcome or discovery of the work the great work that the committee did? One, I know it's challenging, but yeah, okay.
Do extended work and just with that. And if you sit, I'm sure you'll sit down over the months ahead and read that. You'll put so much more in than you can get by reading it. Last week, I've been over a few times. Things like the prison camp, the police hut, stuff like that was important. I should also acknowledge, of course, there was a graduate working group that also provided input from the Indigenous people here in Wilkes for this heritage study. And there were some important issues they brought up.
Thank you. Thank you for your great work.
Just one from me, David. In relation to the subject of the post office, what would be the volume of work required to bring that element into the heritage listing? Do you have any understanding? Did they give any feedback on that?
I checked Dave Christie's. It's significant. The whole study has to be redone properly and in great detail. So it's not just adding a little paragraph or two. It's got to be done again. And that's why the Heritage Working Group went back on their recommendation. Their first recommendation was we should do it. And when we got told, no, you have to do the whole study again. And we looked at staff resources and staff manpower and time. We said, no, we'll leave, but we want it to be considered in the future.
So you can't consider one component. You've got to consider the whole building and everything therein. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I know that there has been a member of the public very ardent about that, and I respect that view. But yeah, thanks, David. Thanks, Mr. Christie, for your response. Thanks for your response, David. Okay, welcome everyone to tonight's council meeting for Monday, the 25th of August, 2025. I'll start the meeting by doing the affirmation acknowledgement. Councillor Bullivant.
Thank you, Mayor Mack. We gather to represent the people of Albury who have entrusted us with this task. May our efforts be blessed with the insight, wisdom and common sense. May our personal values give us honesty and courage to serve our community effectively and with respect for all.
Thank you. Councillor Bukowski with the welcome to country.
The acknowledgement, country. We would like to acknowledge the Wiradjuri people as the traditional custodians of the land that we meet upon today and pay our respects to the elders past, present and future, for they hold the memories, culture, tradition and hopes of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people that contribute to our community.
Thank you. Recording and webcasting of the meeting. This council meeting is being webcast and recorded. By speaking at the council meeting, you agree to being recorded and webcast. Please ensure that if and when you are speaking at the council meeting, that you are respectful to others and use appropriate language. Albury City accepts no liability for any defamatory or offensive remarks or gestures made during the course of this council meeting. An audio recording will be made for administrative purposes. Thank you. Mr. Zachjinks, conflict of interest declarations.
Thank you, Mayor Mack. I'll just restate the earlier conflict from declarations from Councillor King, non-pecuniary less than significant, an item listed in Schedule 5 of the Draft Heritage Review Report, the CM 13.2. The report is a draft. Councillor King will stay in the chamber and participate if the item is to be discussed by a councillor, then by council specifically, then leave the chamber. Similarly, from Councillor Glacken, non-pecuniary less than significant conflict of interest. Description is that family members own property within the mapped areas in the draft document. Relates again to the Draft Heritage Strategy Review public exhibition. Councillor Glacken will stay in the chamber and participate, but leave the chamber if a specific related area is raised directly in discussion. And finally, an item from myself. As a pecuniary interest, brief description is the CEO 24-25 performance review, CM 17.1 confidential report. The action I'll take is to leave the chamber when the matter is discussed. Thank you. Mayor Mack, no disclosures of political donations. The heritage item, though, will require a division as it relates to a future planning, specific planning matter for council's consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zach. Thank you, Mr. Zaknich. We'll move on to apologies. There are none. CM 4.2, attendance by council, meeting by audio visual link. They're all here and accounted for. There is no moral minutes. CM 5, CM 6 action plans. Thanks, councillors. Councillor Callaghan.
Thank you, Mayor Mack. I'd like to move the recommendation that the following action plans be received and noted. 1, action plans complete for noting. 2, actions awaiting response from external parties. 3, actions in progress. And 4, long-term issues more than 3 months. Thank you.
Councillor Bukowski.
Happy to second that, Mayor Mack.
Thank you. Councillor Callaghan, do you suspect to that at all?
No, thank you, Mayor Mack.
There appears to be no buttons pressed, no debate or questions. Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. Thank you. Confirmation of minutes of previous meeting, CM 7.1, held on Monday, the 11th of August, 2025 at 6:26. Councillor Bukowski.
I move the recommendation that the minutes of the council meeting held on 11 August 2025 at 6:26 p.m. be confirmed.
Thank you. Councillor Callaghan.
Happy to second. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Bukowski, did you wish to speak to that at all?
No, thank you.
Thank you. There appears to be no question or debate. Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. Reports from committee forums. There are none. Notice of motions or rescission. There are none. CM 10 presentations and deputations. We have none. Reports, minutes of committees and working parties. CM 11.1, minutes of the Albury Airport Advisory Committee meeting held on Tuesday, the 29th of July, 2025. Councillor Bullman.
Thank you, Mayor Mack. I move the recommendation that council receives notes and accepts the minutes of the Albury Airport Advisory Committee meeting held on Tuesday, the 29th of July, 2025.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Bukowski.
Happy to second.
Thank you. Councillor Bullman, did you wish to speak to that at all?
Just a small note to thank Councillor Glacken for the opportunity to sit in the big chair whilst he was on holidays. It was a nice meeting. It was a good, well-rounded meeting, and it was very nice to attend it as a second. So thank you.
Thank you. There's been no questions or debate. Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. CM 11.2, minutes of the Companion Animals Advisory Committee meeting held on Wednesday, the 16th of July. Councillor Hudson.
Thank you, Mayor Mack. I move that council receives, notes and accepts the minutes of the Companion Animals Advisory Committee meeting held on Wednesday, the 16th of July, 2025.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Callaghan.
Happy to second. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Hudson, do you wish to speak to that at all?
I will just briefly, Mayor Mack. As Albury is a regional provider of animal care services with our animal care centre, we've invited surrounding councils to have attendees to our Companion Animals Committee meeting, which is really good to have them on the panel because it's valuable feedback. For example, the Animal Care Centre upgrade project is being built to Victorian standards because they're more comprehensive than New South Wales standards, and so that to ensure that Albury can continue to provide services to Victorian councils, those details are being taken into account. So yes, we welcome their participation on that committee. Thank you.
Thank you. No further question or debate. Mr. Christie, maybe a question for you in relation to the recent announcement by the government in relation to cat containment policy. Have you had a chance to look at that at all?
Yep, sorry. Thank you for the question. And for you, Mayor Mac, no, we haven't had a chance to review that recent announcement yet.
Yeah, okay.
Your report to the Companions Advisory.
Yeah.
Advisory Committee.
Report to the Companion Advisory Committee at the appropriate time. Thank you. Okay, no further question about it. Have put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? Motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. Documents for sealing. There are none. 13.1 Officers' Reports for Consideration. Draft Social Infrastructure Strategy 2025 Public Exhibition Submissions. Councillor Glacken.
Thank you. Through you, to move the recommendations, the motion that Council A receives and notes the contents of this report, acknowledges receipt of the submissions lodged, and adopts the Albury Social Infrastructure Strategy 2025 with minor changes as outlined in the report.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Callaghan.
Happy to second.
Thank you. Councillor Glacken, did you wish to speak to that at all?
Yes, I'd like to make a few comments. The report articulates very well and outlines the basis of what will become, should we pass this, our Albury Social Infrastructure Strategy for 2025 and into the future. It articulates that this is a higher level strategy. It's not about individual infrastructure at this stage, but it sets in place the framework, the policies and procedures in effect that will be undertaken in the future to ensure that there is a cost-effective approach, an equitable approach, and that we will achieve the greatest outcome with the resources that we have at hand. It doesn't highlight any actions, immediate actions with any of our infrastructure, but it sets in place what those actions would be in the future. So it's not about specific infrastructure, it's about the big picture, that holistic approach into the future. And I thank the community for the input that they provided, some of which was specific, and indeed or about a number of specific entities or items of infrastructure, and there were changes suggested in the report based on that. So the community were fabulous in the way in which they approached this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Glacken. No speakers against. Speaker for, Councillor King.
Just to echo Councillor Glacken's thoughts, it was great that community got involved and delivered some submissions, and that some of those have been incorporated into this strategy, and noting that some of the high priority projects have really been outlined there. And given our financial challenges as budget circumstances permit, it's very clearly highlighted that they're planned and we will progress them when we can. I think it's a great starting point to have a strategy of something that we haven't factored in before. So congratulations to not only the team, but those that have contributed to their thoughts into the forming of this strategy.
Thank you. There are no further speakers against. Speaker for, Councillor Callaghan.
Thank you. And yes, congratulations to the council staff who put this comprehensive strategy together. It is our first citywide infrastructure planning strategy, and it really provides clarity and certainty for how we plan and prioritise and deliver facilities in our open spaces moving forward. It also really looks at our growth areas, which is really critical, but it also, what I think is really critical about the document itself is it prevents duplication and service gaps where possible. I also think that the evidence-based strategies and principles about co-location, being connected, multifunctional and equitable will serve our community really well moving into the future. So thank you.
Thank you. No further speakers. Just to echo those sentiments, and also I think it's really critically important if we look at the Thurgoona-Willinga structure plan that plan has areas notarized as being for community and social infrastructure. And I think again, it's not just happen wherever we want to put it. It needs to be a planned approach. And I think with a growing corridor as it is, growing exponentially, the people are screaming out for community centres and community assets out there, and we have a challenge in the future to provide them, and that's why this council during the budget discussions did consider the developer contributions to contribute to that. And I think it's really wise and really smart to have a strategy that enshrines that and gives our community guidance. And the feedback was wonderful. And I think these are the things that make us a vibrant and livable community. So I praise the staff for the great report and certainly the community for giving their valuable feedback. And hopefully it'll guide us in the right direction in the future. So I'm happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Sorry, Councillor Glegg, would you like to close debate? Sorry. Yep.
Couple of extra things. Thank you. And thank you to the councillors who spoke very positively about this, because it is a significant big picture undertaking of council. And I wanted to highlight a couple of sections on page 48. I won't read them in their entirety, but it highlights, as Councillor Callaghan has already read from the document from that page, the first paragraph, about co-located, connected, multi-functional and equitable, etc. The plan highlights, or the staff have highlighted about the plan, that a further revision of the high priority actions is required to reflect the adoption of the recent budget, etc. And then the other paragraph that is really pertinent and for the attention of our community is Albury City remains committed to continuous improvement, achieving value for money with every dollar spent to achieve financial sustainability. Ongoing work is required to achieve and maintain a sustainable budget to deliver required infrastructure improvements. And that leads us very neatly into the community strategic plan towards Albury 2050. So this is that big picture, longer term approach, and the staff have articulated that very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Glegg. I put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against the motion is carried. Okay, 13.2, the Draft Heritage Strategy Review Public Exhibition. Councillor Bullivant.
Thank you, Mayor Max, through you. I recommend that Council A receives and notes contents of this report. B, endorses the Draft Heritage Review 2025 for public exhibition for a period of 28 days. And C, if no submissions seeking amendments are received during the public exhibition periods, adopts the Draft Heritage Plan Review 2025.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Hudson.
Happy to second that, Mayor Mac.
Thank you. Councillor Bullivant, did you wish to speak to that?
Thank you, Mayor Mac. Firstly, I'd like to commend the great work that Councillor Thurley and Councillor Bowen have done in conjunction with the staff and Historical Society on preserving and identifying areas of our city that do need some highlighting. I've taken into account our First Nations people, the crossing place, which over the years has been a place of thousands of people crossing in early days, interaction between our First Nations people and the citizens of Albury, but also a few other buildings, like the building that we're seated in tonight having a meeting, 512 Dean Street. One of our fellow councillors mentioned it the other day, but it's the idea of a significant architectural design at the time. So we're getting across the city at a lot of things, but overall, I think the report and the recommendation that's come forward is a very good way to preserve our city.
Thank you, Councillor Bullivant. Two questions. Councillor Glegg first.
Thank you. Through you to the most relevant member of staff, please. I'd like to confirm a couple of dates in the report. So it refers to the most recent heritage report having been 2003, 2004. And I do remember as a new councillor, there was significant presentations and discussions and a number of iterations at that time. Were there, however, any similar reviews since 2003-04, or were there minor reviews undertaken, or were there some aspects of the heritage listings that we looked at individually as a council? Thank you.
Mr. Christie.
Thank you for the question, and for you, Mayor Mac. In short, no comprehensive review as indicated in the report, this is the first comprehensive review in around that 20-year period. There were some of the items, for example, that have been subject to development applications. Whatever the results of those development applications, obviously they've had consideration of the heritage listing and the like at that point in time. There have been some consideration of some individual items. You may recall there was consideration about whether to list the replica DC for the IVA, and that was a consideration that went to council for an item by itself, whether to add to it. But no, the comprehensive review that was undertaken 2003 and 4 then led into our 2010 LEP, and those items that it recommended for inclusion were included in that 2010 LEP.
Thank you. Question from Councillor Bukowski.
Thank you, Mayor Mac. Through you to the most relevant member of staff. Assuming, Christie. Just in relation to the public exhibition and the substantive content of what is going to be in that public exhibition relating to the recommended additions to Schedule 5 of Albury's LEP, and noting that there are a couple of residential properties whose nomination is not supported by the owner, will that be included, whether a nomination is supported or not by the owner in public exhibition?
Mr. Christie.
Thank you for the question, and for you, Mayor Mac. In regards to the exhibition, pretty much the information that's attached, which there is a lot, is available. There will be individual contacts to people who are either looking at councils either recommend to go on or off, whether they're delisted or additions. There will also be direct contact to those where there's an alteration to their listing. So those direct affected properties will have an opportunity to provide that. The key, obviously, to remember too is this is council's heritage strategy. So this does not heritage list these items. This is a recommendation for a strategy. Should council then endorse the strategy post-exhibition with whatever changes, then we'll go to an implementation phase where there'll be changes to planning documents. That also will be publicly exhibited and allowed an opportunity again for further commentary in regards to that. So there's a variety of opportunities for public to either raise their concerns or support. There are a couple of property owners who have requested to be listed as well. So that'll provide that opportunity for those property owners, but also for the general community to provide their input as well.
Comfortable? Yep. Speaker 4, Councillor Hudson.
Thanks, Mayor Mac. I'd like to echo the sentiments put forward by Councillor Bullivant in thanking the numerous people who've obviously spent a huge amount of time and effort putting this review together. Obviously, you know, the individual opinions of councillors notwithstanding, it's really good that that this is going out to the community for them to have their say. But I guess one point that I would make is that heritage listing clearly doesn't necessarily protect important buildings and spaces. We can see that with the number of items that are proposed for delisting that are no longer there or have fallen into such disrepair that they're not they don't meet criteria anymore. So I guess the point I would make is that it's obviously important that we have these items listed or put them forward for listing, but it's more important that the community actually values these items and that we can protect them into the future, because otherwise they will just being on a list isn't necessarily going to protect them. So I look forward to seeing any feedback from the community on this strategy.
Thank you. No speakers against. Speaker 4, Councillor Gluckin.
Yes, I speak for because I'm not against it. However, I do raise some concerns, and I believe that we really need to make sure that our community have a good opportunity, which we're putting this out for consultation now. We need to raise the awareness of our community, and more particularly those people who it may either directly or indirectly affect, because these are some large areas within our city. And there are a number of items that are not government owned that are listed. And we've already had a question from a councillor about that this evening. The reality is that some of these items may be perceived as warranting inclusion or having warranted inclusion in this review, but may not be believed by the majority of our community or indeed the people who have a direct relationship with those buildings as warranting being included on our heritage listing, albeit Albury City Council's heritage register. I'm looking forward to feedback from those people directly with regards to this review. I'm also mindful of the potential consequences should items be included on the review. And I am mindful of Australia and particularly Albury. We have a number of buildings that are maybe 150 years old. We have a significant number of houses, or a relatively significant number of houses that may be over 100 years old. And there's a bit of a joke in some countries about Australia that if something's more than 10 years old, we'll whack a heritage listing on it. And so we need to look at that in the context of these buildings. Are they really significantly individually warranting of listing because they are architecturally significant in their own right? Because some of these buildings are not necessarily very old. What are the implications for the owners of those properties if they are not indeed government buildings? What are the implications for the government buildings in some of the locations that they are? What would be the implications for us as a council if our building was listed? Should we want to undertake significant structural work into the future? So I think it's important that we ask our community to make comment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Glacken. Okay, there are no further speakers or questions. Happy to get you to close, Councillor Bullivant.
Well, thank you, Mayor Mac.
Thank you. Happy to put the motion as a division. All those in favour? Councillor Baker, Bullivant, Mikowski, Cameron, Mack, Callaghan, Hudson, Glacken and King. Thank you. Motion is carried. Thank you. 13.3 Oddies Creek Park Splash Park. Oddies Creek Park Splash Park. Draft concept design public exhibition. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Callaghan.
Thank you. I'd like to move that Council A receive and note the initial have your say results for the draft Oddies Creek Park Splash Park concept design, and B, endorse the draft Oddies Creek Splash Park concept design and place the draft Oddies Creek Park Splash Park concept design on public exhibition for a minimum of 28 days, and C, if no submissions are received seeking amendments on the draft Oddies Creek Park Splash Park concept design, that the draft Oddies Creek Park Splash Park concept design be adopted as the final version. Thank you.
You sure about that?
I'm sure what
Okay.
it said.
Councillor Hudson.
Happy to second that, Mayor Mac.
Thank you. Councillor Callaghan, did you wish to speak to that Oddies Creek Park Splash Park?
I do. Firstly, I'd like to ask a question, please,
Yes.
to the most relevant staff member. To Mr. Costello, I assume. How can we manage the budget over time on this project and achieve the desired outcome for the community, given our current budget constraints, and noting that we've received $2.5 million of grant funding from the Albury-Wodonga Regional Projects Initiative? Thank you.
Mr. Costello.
Thanks very much for the question, Councillor Callaghan, and through you, Mayor Mac. So we've certainly been very clear with the design consultant about our budget constraints and working within that budget. And so acknowledging that it's a concept at this stage, we're about to move into the detailed design phase, pending outcomes of public consultation. But clearly that would be the opportunity to work very closely with the design consultant to ensure that we are working within the budget parameters and any options that we may have as part of the procurement to value manage the project, whether that be staging, internal or external value management options and those sorts of things. So the short answer is it would be working very closely with the design consultant throughout the detailed design process to ensure that we are managing it in accordance with our budget constraints.
Thank you, Mr. Costello.
Did you want to debate?
I do.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. Happy to endorse the splash park. I remember when I ran first time as a councillor, it was something that people were talking about then and continue to talk about certainly over the last 4 or 5 years that I've been aware of. It's our first free, safe splash park and it really is filling a clear gap in our community facilities that the community are crying out for. And with overwhelming support, may I add, it's 94.6% of the respondents were in favour of it, and there was 1,200 odd people that responded to that survey. So there's some good statistics coming back saying that people are really keen to have this splash park in our community. It also provides a safe alternative right by the river as well, in close proximity to the current playground, which is a great site for it. I also noted in the report that it embeds First Nations storytelling with cultural themes and connection to country, and I'm aware that there's been quite a bit of consultation in that space, which is fantastic. We notice around lots of parts of Australia, and it was in the documentation too, other splash parks, and they really are a regional destination for people to go to and to maximise. Hopefully it'll boost our tourism, livability and enhance the already family-friendly recreation that's down there at Oddie's Park. I also love that it's not that plastic fantastic. It's really in keeping with nature, which I think is fantastic. It talks about being climate ready, flood adaptable, which we know is really critical down there by the river and in that space as well, but accessible for all ages and all abilities. So hoping it can stick to budget over time, but really looking forward to this project coming to fruition for our community. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Callaghan. I have a question before a speaker for, no speakers against. Councillor Glacken.
Thank you. Yes, through you to the most relevant member of staff. And my question has a couple of components to it, or it's actually 2 questions. The first one is touching on, as was raised by Councillor Callaghan, the estimate, and they've sort of related in a way. The feasibility study identified a project cost estimate of up to 6.25 million. Councillor Callaghan's already raised that we've had a grant funding of $2.5 million from the government, which is fantastic. And it is cited in the report that the design and update will be updated accordingly with a $5 million cap. How will we, 2 parts to this now, how will we manage to keep it at that? And the example I give is that with the Lavington pool, a certain amount had been set aside, but council has agreed to have the design parameters increased to have a greater amount of funding allocated to that. So how will we manage that in the future? And the second one is with reference to the consultation, because we're putting this out to the community, the document that we have as our attachment provided by the consultants has 4 initial and then the 5th finally agreed component, and it has all of these other factors that included additional options to significantly improve the amenity, including construction of shower facilities, new changing places, etc. How do we then communicate with our community that it is a $5 million project and it includes these components only, not those others, because all of those others are in that actual report? So I just need to know, how do we provide that information to the community? Is it a separate document, etc.? So there's 2 components.
Mr. Costello.
Thanks very much for the questions, Councillor Glacken, and through you, Mayor Mack. So I think the first question was in around the budget, and initially there was the $6 million as part of the feasibility. So the feasibility was done 12 months ago, and noting that the feasibility had a number of options in there, one of which was changing places, another one was shower facilities. And then there was also some conservative figures around contingencies and project management put in. So them in their own right added over $1 million to the project estimate, so they were conservative figures. Noting now that we have a changing places facility down in the Riverside precinct, a new changing places facility, it then reduces the need to have another secondary changing places facility as part of the splash park. So that's an option that we're not considering. And so I think the feasibility study from the design consultant identified change rooms, not changing places as an option. So, but we can be clear through our consultation process about that we're not proposing to put in a changing places as part of this. So there's some options that we're looking to, I guess, value manage, but in a rational way. As I said, we're not saying no to a changing places. We're saying that there's already one in the Riverside precinct. As far as those other elements, showers go, there's also showers down at Noriel Park down there. So we weren't looking to install showers as part of this design as well. Certainly not heated showers. So it'd be basic change room facilities. And again, noting the comments previously that I made through Councillor Callaghan, we're certainly looking to work very closely with the design consultant to make sure that the budget doesn't escalate in a way that it's unachievable to deliver. I hope that answers both the questions.
Thank you. So through you again to the most relevant member of staff, if we're communicating with the community about the draft concept design, then what is it that they will see? Are the council staff going to provide two options? One is the 6.25 million and then the version that the staff believe we can achieve within $5 million. Is that what's going to be provided to the community? Or will it be the $5 million version, which I'm happy to have, but it's just I want to make sure that we're providing our community with a more representative design for them to comment on as to where we believe we're going if we agree to this report.
Mr. Costello.
Thanks again for the question, Councillor Glacken, and through you, Mayor Mack. So there's not two designs almost. So we'd be putting out the one concept that you have here in the papers tonight, and that's not including the changing places. So the feasibility was a separate internal document that we did to present to council to talk about some of the options, but we've since formed that design up now into the concept package that will be presented to the community, and that outlines what we're proposing to do. We'll be creative with the consultation, saying what we are proposing to do and what's in scope and what's out of scope, so we can be explicit in our messaging, saying that those elements aren't being proposed as part of the concept design.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Another question before I take a speaker for Councillor Hudson.
Thank you, Mayor Mack, through you to the most relevant member of staff. Thank you for your answers to Councillor Callaghan and Glacken's questions, Mr. Costello. I suppose my question is, if the community did come back and say overwhelmingly we want a changing place or some other major element, what aspects, if any, and perhaps this question I'm asking too early, but what aspects probably would be most likely to be value managed in order to achieve something like that?
Mr. Costello.
Thanks, Councillor Hudson, and through you, Mayor Mack. Yeah, look, great question. But there's obviously some landscaping elements. If a significant inclusion such as changing places was to be proposed that council wanted to consider, we'd have to look at some potential alternatives such as staging the project over multiple stages or multiple years. That's an option that we could look at. Some of that landscaping could potentially be done internally. So there's a range of things, or rationalising some of the equipment or features of the splash park would be an option as well. So it would get down to the appetite, I guess, of council as to what parts of the quality of the splash park they would like to see value managed, I guess, and we could do that through a conversation with councillors once we have the detailed designs done, and obviously once we've completed the public exhibition and have the feedback from the community, we can test that appetite with council at that time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker for Councillor King.
I just think it's something, as the other councillors have mentioned, that our community has really been looking for. So, and it was really, I really enjoyed seeing the priorities, the order of priorities from our community. So I think that's given us really good guidance, and that they really seem to be impressed with the creek beds was something that I picked up too, which I think comes to that sort of natural elements that we're looking at. So I think that's great. Also, this is a very good example that Councillor Callaghan has mentioned of sometimes the challenges of when you do get grant funding and you start the process of investing in infrastructure. And there can be election cycles, and governments want to put a different lens on funding grants, and it does create delays. And I think this is an example of something out of council's control in terms of the length that's taken to get to the point we are. And of course, due to inflation, costs increase. So just highlighting that. But I feel very reassured about the budget parameters and the settings in place that you and the team have put there. So congratulations, and look forward to the next stage.
Thank you, Councillor King. No further speakers for or against or questions. Councillor Callaghan, do you wish to close debate?
No, thank you, Mayor Mac.
Thank you. Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. 13.4, the draft drinking water quality policy public exhibition. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Bukowski.
Thank you. I move the recommendation that Council A endorses the draft Albury City Drinking Water Quality Policy for public exhibition for 28 days, and B, if no objections are received, the Albury City Drinking Water Quality Policy be adopted and placed on the Public Policy and Procedure Register.
Thank you, Councillor Glacken.
Happy to second.
Thank you, Councillor Bukowski. I have a question. Do you wish to open debate for the question?
No, I'm happy for the
Councillor Cameron, you have a question?
Thank you, Mayor Mac. Through you to the most appropriate member of staff. Several months ago, I was at a local business that is an electrical business, but specialises largely in servicing and repairing coffee machines, particularly commercial coffee machines. And they showed me examples of accumulation of scale from water in the coffee machines. Does Albury have a particular problem with scaling in its water? And if so, is there any theories as to why that is? Or is it understood that the level of accumulation of scale is normal?
Mr. Willis.
Thank you very much for your question, and through you, Mayor Mac. Albury City's water quality and water supply has been consistent in what is in its system, and in terms of the contaminant you're talking about and the accumulation of scale, our regular testing and ongoing monitoring throughout the system has not determined that there is a significant issue.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Bukowski, do you wish to open debate? Thanks.
Just briefly, obviously, I think it's important that as a council, we acknowledge that water quality, particularly drinking water, is front and foremost, particularly if it goes wrong, we can have a whole range of health issues. So, but also just the fact that it is going to be a policy that we put out for public exhibition. The fact that we as a council are turning our mind to drinking quality, I think is really important. So,
Thank you. There appears to be no further question or debate. Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? The motion is carried. Thank you. 13.5, the draft Albury City Liquid Trade Waste Policy Public Exhibition. Councillor Glacken.
Thank you. Through you to move the recommendation as a motion that council endorse the draft liquid trade waste policy for public exhibition for 28 days, and if no submissions are received, the policy be adopted.
Thank you. Councillor Hudson.
Happy to second that, Mayor Mac.
Thank you. Councillor Glacken, do you wish to speak to that?
It's a policy that has traditionally been related to the water quality, and it's an important component of the way in which we treat and the structure around the way in which we treat water at Albury City has a relationship with the New South Wales government, and it's important to have this policy. Some of the components are controlled by the New South Wales state government, but there are components within that are the direct responsibility of Albury City Council. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There appears to be no speakers for or against. Happy to, do you wish to close?
No.
Thank you. Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against the motion is carried. Thank you. 13.6, the 2025 LG New South Wales Annual Conference voting delegates and motions. Councillor Callaghan.
Thank you, Mayor Mac. I'd like to move that Council A note that the Mayor and Deputy Mayor as two voting delegates at the 2025 LG New South Wales Annual Conference as per the Councillor Expenses and Facilities Policy, and B, nominate two additional councillor voting delegates to be decided by a show of hands, and C, endorse the following 5 motions being submitted to LG New South Wales for consideration for inclusion in the 2025 LG New South Wales Annual Conference Business Paper. And 1, zero tolerance for violence, national action to prevent harm and restore community safety. And 2, fixing cross-border health for rural communities, tripartite funding and federal leadership. And 3, that the local government, New South Wales, calls on the federal and New South Wales governments to increase investment in the arts across New South Wales by delivering a fair share of arts funding, establishing a long-term strategy for cultural development, ensuring equitable access to creative opportunities, infrastructure and programs. And 4, that local government New South Wales to advocate to the New South Wales government for additional infrastructure funding programs. And 5, local government New South Wales to advocate for funds to support aquatics facility developments. Thank you.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Bullvond.
Happy to second that, Mayor Mac.
Thank you. Councillor Callaghan, do you wish to open debate on those items?
No, thank you, Mayor Mac.
Okay. Councillor Glacken, question?
Yes, I noted in the criteria for motions, through you to the most relevant member of
Yep.
staff, I noted that the criteria for motions, number 6, is not to be focused on just a small specific part of New South Wales. The item number 2, fixing cross-border health for rural communities, articulates the Albury-Wodonga Health Clinical Services Plan. And so I'm wondering if that might, if the staff could consider if that needs to be redrafted as a proposal for the, I'm happy for it to go, but does that wording of the Albury-Wodonga Health Clinical Services Plan need to be removed? Otherwise, it is in direct contradiction to item number 6 for the criteria for motions. Happy for that to be taken on notice. I just think it is at risk of being rejected, which I'm sure would not be what councillors would like.
Thank you. Mr. Sacknage?
And thank you for the question through you, Mayor Mac. So we did work very closely with the councillors that have provided the submissions to adjust the motions to reflect just that, Councillor Glacken. So we're confident that taking this forward will enable that. Certainly, we'll receive feedback from LG New South Wales once they're lodged, and incorporate any changes then. Otherwise, the motions we're comfortable that the motions have been revised to reflect what it is you're saying. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Glacken. Speaking for, no speakers against. Councillor King.
I think this is another avenue to advocate for some of the priorities, not just for Albury, but for other regional cities, but cities all over New South Wales. I think it ticks a lot of boxes. I think violence prevention and even the advocacy around tripartite funding agreement, which is something that we've been looking for some time for the feds plus the state and New South Wales to factor in, noting Councillor Glacken's concern about its possible acceptance if it's too narrow, but I still think that that's worth putting in there. And even that the arts, councils in the regions fund their art galleries and a lot of their arts programs compared to capital cities. So it is an equity issue there. So happy to support that and see if we can get some advocacy going there. And one in particular is the specific aquatic funding programs for councils, because while we are in an issue with end of life for our swimming pools, most councils right around the state are in the same position. So I can see a situation where we're all going to be fighting over the scraps of grant funding that might be available to replace our ageing swimming pools. So I think that that's a really a sensible advocacy motion to put forward, and I'm quite sure that would be an interesting one to debate at a New South Wales state level, because I think it's something that every council can relate to. So specifically pleased to see that is included, and I congratulate those who've put through submissions for motions, and good luck.
Thank you, councillor King. No speakers against, no questions. Councillor Hudson speaking for.
Thank you, Mayor Mack. I think Councillor King probably said just about everything that I was going to say. I just wanted to thank the councillors and the council staff for nominating and putting forward the motions to LG New South Wales that they have. I think they're very good. I mean, to speak briefly to the aquatic facilities, I believe it was at Royal Lifesavers who did a report and found that there was around $8 billion worth of aquatic facilities which need replacement. So, I mean, this is a critical issue which doesn't affect us just here, but certainly affects the whole state. And I suppose briefly in speaking to Councillor Glacken's concern around number 2, I mean, frankly, the health services provided in Albury service a region of 13 odd councils and 300,000 people. So if that's not, I would hope that's certainly not too specific for LG New South Wales to consider. Thanks.
Thank you, councillor Hudson. So there are no more speakers for or against. I now need to address item B, to nominate 2 additional councillors. Okay, we'll put the motion first. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. Now we'll nominate the councillors for attendance at the conference. Thank you, councillor Callaghan. Mr. Zachnich, would you like to be the returning officer? Thank you.
Yep, happy to. Thank you, Mayor Mack.
Okay, thank you. I have nominations on the board. Did you wish me to take those nominations?
Thank you. So just to be clear, we have 2 positions. We'll call for nominations for position 1 only at this stage, and then conduct the election for position 1. We will then have an elected councillor for position 1. We'll then move to calling for nominations for position 2 and deal with that in the same manner. Thank you, Mayor Mack. So nominations for position 1 of the additional councillor voting delegate.
Thank you, Mr. Zachnich. Councillor Glacken, your nomination?
Thank you. I'd like to nominate. Yep.
Councillor Glacken is nominating. Thank you. Councillor Bukowski?
I would like to nominate Councillor Bullivant.
Councillor Bullivant, thank you. Any other nominations, councillors? No? Okay. Well, Councillor Bullivant is the first person nominated with Councillor Glacken. We'll take votes for Councillor Glacken as the first nominated person. Those that wish to vote for Councillor Glacken, please hold your hand. Raise your hand, please. Councillor Baker?
Sorry, Mac, I just had a question. If there's only 2, are they both elected?
No, this is for the first position. One position at a time.
I think that was in the instructions.
Yeah, so
position 1 we're voting on. Yeah.
Not all nominations necessarily.
correct. So voters for Councillor Glacken, please raise your hands. Councillor Baker, Councillor Glacken. Okay. 2 votes. Councillor Bullivant votes for Councillor Bullivant. Please raise your hand. There are 7. So Councillor Bullivant, you'll be attending as the voting delegate. In the second position, nominations, thanks. Councillor Hudson.
Thank you, Mayor Mack. I'd like to nominate for the second position.
Thank you. Councillor Glacken.
I'd like to nominate for the second position.
Okay. Councillor Bukowski.
I would like to nominate Councillor King.
Councillor King. Have we got any more? Doesn't appear to be. How many have we got there, Mr.
3 candidates, Councillors Hudson, Glacken and King, in that order.
Okay, so we'll go through the same process. Show of hands. The first suspect is Councillor Hudson. Those in favour of Councillor Hudson, show your hands, please. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those in favour of
Councillor Glacken.
Councillor Glacken, please raise your hand. Not voting for yourself, Councillor Glacken? No, there are none. Those in favour of Councillor King, please show your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Councillor King is the voting delegate elected by the council group. So we have Councillor Bullivan and Councillor King who will be attending as the voting delegates for the 2025 Local Government New South Wales Conference.
Thank you, Mayor Mac.
Thank you, councillors. Okay, moving right ahead. We've got the 13.7, the Albury City's Corporate Success Pillar Measures and Targets June 2025. Thank you, councillors. Anyone? Councillor Glacken.
Thank you. Through you to move the recommendation as a motion that Council A receives and notes the Albury City Corporate Success Pillars 24-25 available results. B endorses the Albury City 25-26 Corporate Success Pillars Measures and Targets. And C receives and notes the quarterly Corporate Success Pillars scorecard of June 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Callaghan.
Happy to second.
Thank you. Councillor Glacken, do you wish to speak to that?
Finding, I thought I had made some notes, but they had, I think. Just a moment. It's coming back. Okay. No, look, I can't find the relevant section, so I'll in essence, it's noting the documentation, documented information that we've been provided, which is publicly available. So I'm very happy with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions or debate, councillors? Councillor Callaghan, you have a question?
Yeah, I have several questions to the most relevant staff member. The first one is in the Corporate Success Pillar documentation, it states the June 2025 operating result has not yet been finalised and is waiting end of financial year adjustments. I'm just wondering, is that now complete and clear? And if not, when is that expected to be?
Mr. Finlayson, you're on the screen. Thank you.
Yes, through you, Mayor Mac. Thank you for the question. Our year-end financial results are still being reconciled and are to be submitted for audit by the 8th of September, with the draft results to be considered by our Audit Risk and Improvement Committee on the 3rd of September. Those same results will be presented to Council for consideration on its meeting on the 22nd of September, so coming very soon.
What?
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you to the most relevant staff member. As of to date, understanding that we've saved $8 million in savings with the last budget round, can the most relevant staff member confirm the current level of Albury City Council's debt as we know it today?
Mr. Finlayson.
Deficit.
Deficit, Mr. Finlayson.
Yes, so the general fund deficit, as we know it today, is in the order of $26 million, which was spoken to at the recent pre-meeting briefing session.
Thank you. Any further questions, Councillor Callaghan?
A third follow-up, if you don't mind. Just
now on the 3.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, continue.
The scorecard also noted a $35 million loan from Teep Corp to offset the land purchase. Can someone please confirm, were the borrowings made through Teep Corp or the Water Fund? We just haven't had a resolution in regards to that. Thank you.
Mr. Finlayson.
Yes, through you, Mayor Mac. Thank you for the question. As Council resolved, we have applied to the Office of Local Government for an internal loan from the Water Fund. However, that's still being considered by the Office of Local Government. So in the meantime, in accordance with Council's resolution, we drew down $35 million to finance Council's 24-25 Capital Works program. When we receive approval for the internal loan, we'll repay the loan that was drawn down from Teep Corp.
Thank you, Mr. Finlayson.
Thank you. Further questions? Councillor Hudson.
Thank you, Mayor Mac. Through you to the most relevant member of staff. Just with regard to the success pillars, so Community First, we've got a proposed target of 3.4 out of 5. And I understand that this is a full survey rather than just the interim survey or pulse check, whatever we call it. 3.4 out of 5 amounts to 68%. And noting that our result was 76% this year, I suppose my question would be, why are we only aiming to be better than 68% rather than the current result that we have, which is 76%. And on a similar line, I note that our proposed target for engaged people is greater than 6.3 out of 10. But given that our target was 7 out of 10 this year and the result this year was 6.3, my question would just be, why would we not aim to be more aspirational and leave the target at 7 where it was for this year? Thank you.
Mr. Finlayson.
Through you, Mayor Mac, thank you for the question. Starting with Community First, for community satisfaction, the result of 3.4 out of 5 is measured differently to the interim pulse check. So the full survey measures the level of community satisfaction, whereas the pulse check measures whether satisfaction has increased or remains the same. So there's a slight difference between the two. As Councillor Hudson noted, the employee opinion survey, we have proposed a target of greater than the previous result. There is an option identified within the report to Council that if Council's view was to establish a more aspirational target than of greater than 7 out of 10 rather than greater than 6.3 out of 10, that's an option available for Council.
Thank you, Mr. Finlayson. So does that need to be adjusted in the report or does it need to be amended?
Make it part of the motion if that's what the council would like to do.
So, Councillor Hudson, if you want that change, you need to amend the motion to reflect that as an added.
I would be happy to do that.
Could add, amend the, sorry, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
No, no problem.
Amend the engaged people target for 25-26 to greater than 7. So we'd add that to A, B and C in the.
Add a D.
Sorry, add it, yeah, put a D in.
So that's the, you happy, satisfied with that approach?
I'd be satisfied with that as an amendment, but obviously it's the mover and seconder.
So you're moving that as an amendment, Councillor Hudson?
Yes, I move that as an amendment.
Councillor Bullivant? Thank you. Councillor Hudson, you've already spoken to that. Did you wish to have another go at it? Or?
Just briefly, please, Mayor. Simply to say that obviously, you know, council staff are the most important people in this organisation because without them we wouldn't be able to achieve anything. And so I think we should be aspirational in wanting them to feel satisfied in their jobs and in their roles. My concern with having a proposed target of simply greater than what we achieved this year is if we achieved, say, 6.4, yes, that's technically greater than 6.3, but it's still less than our target was for this year. And so I just think that we should be aspirational in our thinking and we should maintain our target at 7.
Thank you. We're just waiting for that amendment to appear again.
Last year, it hasn't been done. Review the budget.
But is that to do with this item?
No.
Thank you. Okay, there you go, Councillor Hudson. Any other debate or questions in relation to this amendment, councillors? No? Councillor Hudson, did you wish to close debate on your
No,
amendment?
thank you, Mayor.
Happy to put, oh, Councillor Glacken, did you wish to speak to the amendment?
Noting that the mover and the seconder have agreed to that, I believe it's part of the substantive motion, and
Yeah.
I'd like to close debate if I could.
Okay, no worries. Are you happy to accept it?
Yes, we indicated that. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
all right.
But yes, now seeing it on the board, I confirm that, yes, I'm happy and
Okay,
yeah,
so
Councillor
did you wish to
Williams.
close debate on the
Indeed.
substantive
Thank you.
motion? Thank you.
Thank you. To confirm, and I'm not sure where my comments from this report have gone, so I do apologise for that.
Lost a few.
Confirming that this is looking at, or this report is showing us the outcomes as we have them up until the end of last year. It's also looking at our future, and Councillor Hudson was absolutely correct. We do need to be aspirational, and we ask our staff to be aspirational, and it's clearly indicated in the report that the staff at Albury City do look at the indicators. They are published on a monthly basis, and they look to those indicators and it guides them in where their focus areas need to be to ensure that we continue to meet the requirements of council and indeed those of our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Happy to put that motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. We're up to CM14, Officers' Reports for Noting, 14.1 Investment Balances for July 2025. Councillor Glacken.
Thank you. Through you to move the recommendation as a motion that council receive and note the investment balances report for the month of July 25.
Thank you. Seconder, please. Councillor Callaghan.
Happy to second.
Councillor Glacken, do you wish to open debate on that item?
Simply to highlight the acknowledgement that staff have made with reference to some of the investments, the slight tailing off of returns on investments, and the other being the changes to ownership of some banking entities as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There appears to be no other question or debate. Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against? The motion is carried. Thank you. 14.2 Operational Plan Quarterly Progress Report, June 2025. Councillor Glacken.
Thank you. Through you to move the recommendation as a motion. Council receives notes and notes the Operational Plan Progress Report, June 2025.
Thank you. Councillor Kukowski.
Happy to second that, Mayor Mack.
Thank you. Councillor Glacken, do you wish to speak to that at all?
Yes, I'd like to highlight, as has been highlighted. Sorry, my report keeps moving on the screen. Has been highlighted by the staff in the report that the achievement rate or percentage is the highest it's been over a number of years at 97%. There is always work ongoing at council. So to confirm, it is aspirational to achieve 100%. However, practically, it's very difficult to do so for a number of reasons, not least of which is the fact that many of the components of the work that we do are with shared entities. And so that control becomes more difficult. Many of the components cross over in years. Again, that becomes difficult. And as everyone knows, it's been a very wet winter. Again, that makes things more difficult as well, acknowledging that this is up until June this year. Also highlighted by the staff is that a number of components were removed from the program, some of which were due to the budgetary requirements, that capacity that we as councillors deemed we had the ability to undertake, as well as some components that were not ready to be undertaken due to, for example, relationships and work being done in collaboration with external parties as well. So congratulations to the staff, however, for achieving such a good outcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Glacken. No speakers for or against. Question, Councillor Callaghan.
Yes, thank you to the most relevant staff member. I'm just noting in the report, the Get New South Wales Active Albury CBD bike loop is at 65%. And I know there was some some time constraints in there relating to funding. Just wondering where that was up to. I know there were some deadlines that needed to be met.
Ms. Leopold.
Thanks for the question, Councillor Callaghan, and through you, Mayor Mack. We do have an update intended to come to councillors in the next month or two regarding the progress of that project. There have been some recent matters trying to negotiate through with Transport for New South Wales around some of the complexities to do with design of the CBD bike path, but we hope to bring a briefing soon. Thank you.
Thank you. There's been no further question or debate. Councillor Glacken, did you wish to close debate?
Thank you. No.
Happy to put the motion. All those in favour? Anyone against the motion is carried. No delegates reports for noting. Councillor Cameron, did you wish to raise any urgent business based on your question before?
Yeah, thank you. Mayor Mac, through to the most appropriate member of staff. Last year, council passed a motion to the essence of which was to have an audit or a review, an external review of the budget conducted. My understanding is that now we are, I think, over a year later, and it's about to be done, as I understand. But I want an explanation of why it hasn't been done to date.
Ms. Stevens? That's not on it, I think. They're just trying to save batteries.
Are we? Thank you for the question, and through you, Mayor Mac. We have been undertaking a procurement process to procure the company to come in and undertake the review. That process has yielded some concerns in terms of the procurement process that has been run. There has been a lack of, I suppose, a lack of response to the procurement process. We have been out into market 3 times. Our third procurement process expired on Friday, the 22nd of August. We have just working through that procurement process now and hope to have a company moved through that process and secured to undertake that.
Further question, please?
Yes, Councillor Cameron.
When you say in your answer that there's been 3 tranches of procurement process, as it were?
Yep.
When was the first one?
The first one was undertaken, and I'll have to take that on notice to give you a specific answer, but I would think it would have been approximately about 3 months ago, 2 months ago.
Councillor Cameron?
Can you, through you, Mayor Mac, do you have information from the most appropriate member of staff? What date was that motion adopted by council?
No, it's in the action plan.
Stand by.
Just to clarify too, we did indicate at the time that the timing for the budget process review would follow the finalisation of the audited financial statements to give a logical sequence to that occurring. And we think at the time talked about October, November as a start date for the for that external budget review. I can just find this date for you though, Councillor Cameron. Right. The action. Sorry.
Every time.
That's it every month, is it?
June.
It's listed in the action plan as a notice of motion, budget review and analysis on the 10th of March 2025.
It's my birthday. 10th of March, Councillor Cameron.
No further questions, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Question, Councillor Callahan.
Yes, just some clarification in regards to that. In our last PMBS, it was discussed that Morrison Lowe would be supporting with the accelerated service review an order of $120,000. It was also mentioned that the external budget review would be happening concurrently with that. To me, if we don't have someone appointed, that doesn't seem like they're happening together.
Ms. Stevens?
Yeah.
Or Mr. Zachnich?
Thank you. So we did say, yeah, at the PMBS, we did talk about endeavouring to run them in parallel. Obviously, the timing of securing a provider for that external budget review, we've had some, issues just trying to get people to, make submissions based on the work that's required. Nothing wrong with the work required to be done. It's about attracting a suitable or any providers. The Morrison Low Accelerated Service Planning Review, it's in its early stages. Councillors have, and internally we've responded to survey questions to date. Councillors will be receiving an update on those that feedback and findings and a way forward at upcoming CO workshops or pre-meeting briefings in September. And as Ms Stevens has indicated, hopefully in the next week or two, we'll have an outcome for the procurement for the budget, external budget process review, which, as I've indicated, was always going to occur after the financial statements were completed, and to enable our people to be available to support the external auditor or independent contractor to undertake that review, because it is quite detailed. You've obviously prepared the scope, and we know how detailed that will be, and that will take some months to undertake. So best make sure our people are available and able to assist wherever possible when that external audit company is appointed.
Follow up?
Yes, thank you. Just querying, how long is it expected that the Morrison Low audit will be taking, or should take the accelerated services?
So there's a number of stages. I think we've shared that information again with you recently. Mr. Finlayson's disappeared, but he's back.
There he is, Mr. Finlayson.
Thanks, Justin. The timetable for the Morrison Low work that's started already, and the presentations that are coming up to council shortly, please.
Thank you. Yes, so the options that they will identify will be presented to a pre-meeting briefing session in October before being presented to the first council meeting in November.
Councillor Callaghan, follow up?
Yes, thank you. Just for clarification, so we're spending $120,000 on an audit to save more money, and then which is due in October, November, and then we're going to spend another $120,000. So we're spending $240,000 on auditing our budget currently over the next 4 or 5 months.
Who was the question to council?
Is that correct? Just for clarification.
Yes.
That is correct. Councillor Callaghan, do you have any further questions?
No.
Councillor Blake, have a question?
Thank you, Mayor Mack. I'm just trying to recollect when we voted for this particular motion. I think it wasn't unanimous by any means, but it was suggested at that council meeting that this process is already being done, and then council elected to take a second process. So we've got 2 of them going on at the same time, and I didn't understand it then, but there we go. It's possibly $120,000 that we did not need to spend. Thank you.
Councillor Callaghan, do you have a question?
Is that a question?
Just wondering, just to clarify that last statement, Mr. Zachnich, I'd say these as 2 different things. One is not a budget, the other is accelerated service delivery. Is that correct?
So again, the updates we've provided to the councillor group, and recently in my CO's message in All About Albury, the accelerated planning services review at a cost of $120,000, engaging Morrison Low, is to identify savings and or additional revenue of $20 million through council's operations. That's the focus of that initiative. That will present options to achieve that $20 million savings and or additional income to council to consider, with a view to going to our community to get feedback on what those changes may or may not reflect. That's the first part. The separate component that, and that was part of council's endorsed financial sustainability plan adopted by the former council and embraced by the current council in its present form. Those dollars have been in the budget and allocated by, confirmed by the current council. The second project is, as again resolved by council, instructing the CEO to engage, suitable provider to undertake the external budget review, which listed a whole series of, detailed analysis and review of council's budget process to identify opportunities for improvement, better process and the like. And in terms of prioritisation, in terms of, capital works, engagement with community, engagement with councils and the like, the range of a dozen or so focus areas. So at the moment, that's the additional, the other piece of work that we're going through the procurement process with at the moment, and that we'll certainly report back on to you once that provider is appointed in accordance with the council resolution by the CEO, and provide a time frame that will hopefully align with the Morrison Lowe work. That's the intention, because the two will support each other in terms of the outcomes that the council's seeking, that will be reported then back early in the new calendar year.
Thank you. Question, Councillor Glacken.
Thank you. Yes, through you to the most relevant member of staff. I've actually got two questions. One is just clarifying the second report that we have requested, the budget related one, or the budget review related one. My memory is that that was a motion from councillors that be undertaken. If that could be confirmed, please.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. And again, to the most relevant member of staff, please. A member of staff has just confirmed that the first review, the accelerated service review, it's scheduled that we will have options in October and then a report in November. Can that be confirmed? Is that the outcome report in November, or is that the progression report, the undertaking of what will take place? And if I can clarify why I'm asking, is because there seems to be some concern about the budget and not being done in parallel, the budget review. And so I wanted to make sure that they still have potential to be undertaken in parallel. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Glacken. Mr.
Thank you.
Finlayson.
Yes, so from my perspective, both reviews are intended to support the sustainability of Albury City's service delivery. The first review, as the CEO mentioned, included in the adopted financial sustainability improvement plan, where our objective is to be break even by 2028. That review will include, when it's reported to council in November, the options that Morrison Lowe have identified. That will then, the intent is to put that on exhibition to seek input from our community to inform future budget decisions by the council, and in particular budget build for 2026-27 and 27-28. So that will be on exhibition at the same time as the independent budget review audit will be underway, which will also help inform council moving forward of opportunities to improve our financial sustainability.
Councillor Glacken, follow up?
Thank you. Through you to the most relevant member of staff, noting those timings, can you clarify that the aim is really to have these ready, or the outcomes sufficiently ready for us to be able to commence preparations as a councillor group, not the staff components in the lead up to, but as a councillor group for the next budget cycle?
Yes, that's the intention.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, there appears to be no further questions or issues for urgent business. Happy to move on to the confidential matter. Maybe I can get someone to move us into confidential. Councillor Cameron.
I move that we move into confidential to discuss item CM 17.1, as this is a confidential item exclusive of press or public on the grounds that 2, the matters and information are the following: A, personal matters concerning particular individuals other than councillors.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Gluckin.
Thank you. Happy to second.
Thank you. I must ask that if there's any statements or submissions from the public regarding the reasons identified for the confidential item CM 17.1, there appears to be no submissions. We'll just see, we'll get the chamber vacated. All those in favour? Move into confidential. Anyone against? The motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. Yes, sure. Yeah.